Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your buddy, I'm Domuto. We're back with another video. Look, right now the NBA's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? With all these trades happening, the draft has happened, so it's going crazy. But you know what I'm saying? I'm a big NBA fan, so I started like let's watch some NBA videos, man. So right now we're gonna be watching the 10 greatest what ifs in NBA history. So let's get into it.
Actually went to the Lakers. In December of 2011,
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Second round exit. Second round exit.
the
Look.
Lakers shocked the basketball world by
They
making
traded
a
too
trade
much.
for Chris Paul, which was going
I
to
know
pair
y'all
him
like.
up with
I
a
know you
still
Kobe
dominant and
fans. Look,
lethal
I
Kobe
get it.
Bryant to make the best
Second
basketball
round
in the
exit.
entire NBA. Just hours after the deal was
Y'all traded
supposedly
Powell
done,
and Lamar
the
on
trade
them.
was nixed by the NBA for quote basketball reasons. You see, the New Orleans
Then y'all, I like how y'all like to add. Well, we got Dwight Howard next year. Dwight Howard was still injured.
In a sense that they are the only franchise in the league that is actually owned by the NBA itself, and not just a single individual. Once Dell Demps, the GM of New Orleans, agreed to the deal, the other owners of the NBA threw a fit. According to then Commissioner of the NBA David Stern, Dell Demps was not
very exciting to watch.
But
But second round exit.
the deal, and Paul was ultimately dealt to the Clippers instead.
Clippers,
Would Chris
man.
and Kobe have actually won titles together?
Nah.
The Lakers still would have dealt Andrew Bynum for Dwight Howard. What would the team have looked like with Dwight and Paul playing the pick and roll while Kobe lurks on the perimeter? Does Kobe even tear his Achilles if he has Chris Paul to lean on at the point guard spot and doesn't have to play an insane amount of minutes just to earn a playoff spot? Number 9. What if Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway stayed healthy? In a 1996 interview,
Penny and Grant
Michael
was
Jordan
so cold,
was asked
bro.
who he sees as the next Michael Jordan, the guy he would eventually pass the torch to when he inevitably retires. Michael said 2 players, Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway. Now, Penny was often compared to Magic Johnson more than Michael Jordan. Before Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant, Penny Hardaway was the feared wing player alongside of Shaquille O'Neal. He was a large point guard, standing 6 foot 7 inches. In only his second year in the league, he helped lead his team to 57 wins and a trip to the NBA Finals, while averaging 20.9 points per game, 7.2 assists per game, 4.4 rebounds, and 1.7 steals per game. Unfortunately, Penny had the curse of bad knees and had his first major knee surgery in 1997. Several surgeries and teams later, Penny was merely a shell of what he used to be in his Orlando days, and sadly, basketball fans never got to see his full potential. Grant Hill had a similar story. Before Kobe came onto the scene and was being called the next Michael Jordan, that title was often given to Grant Hill. In only his second year, he led the NBA in All-Star votes, edging the likes of Michael Jordan. Hill averaged 21.4 points, 9 rebounds, 7.3 assists, and 1.8 steals per game, while also leading the league in triple-doubles. And again, this was only his second season in the NBA.
Yeah, Grant Hill was nice.
Grant had his first major ankle injury in the 1999-2000
I used to ball out with Grant Hill when he was on the Suns,
bro.
bro.
6 seasons of his career,
Yeah, that nigga looking athletic as fuck for no reason.
Hill had a total of 9,393 points, 3,417 rebounds, 2,720 assists.
We break his ankle.
Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, LeBron James are the only 3 players in league history to eclipse these numbers after their first 6 seasons in the league.
That's fine.
As his career progressed, Grant continued to have reoccurring ankle injuries, and sadly, he never met his full potential either. Number 8. What if Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady stayed together? Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady started their careers together with the Raptors. They had a short tenure together.
T-Mac, my favorite player.
At the time, Carter was
second favorite player of
already
all
in the
time.
discussions for the best wing players in the entire league, while Tracy was seen as a quality 6-man with lots of potential.
Nah, this would have been fire.
After getting
the East was
bounced in the
ass.
first round of the 2000 NBA
They would have
playoffs,
definitely made a finals.
McGrady left the Raptors to head to his home state of
At the
Florida
time,
to
it was
join
just
the
what Philly
Orlando
and the
Magic,
Bucks, really.
signing a 6-year, $67.5
Oh, and the
million
Nets.
contract. It was then that Tracy's career absolutely took off, winning the league's Most Improved Player award while averaging 26.8 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 4.6 assists per game. Only about a year ago, Tracy McGrady said he regretted leaving the Raptors for Orlando, wondering what the two dynamic players could have accomplished together. One man who believes they could have accomplished a lot
Both them
was none
rappers are
other
so
than
fire,
five-time
bro.
champion Kobe Bryant, who said, with McGrady and Carter and their numerous vets on the team, if they had stuck together, they could have won championships. That's an incredible statement coming from Kobe, especially when you consider that those years would have overlapped with the years Kobe and Shaq were winning their first 3 NBA championships. Sadly, we'll never know for sure what T-Mac and Vince could have accomplished together. Number 7. What if James Harden wasn't traded from OKC? This one is going to
This hurts
continue
home
to
right
climb
here,
the list
man.
of NBA
Shout out to Russell
what ifs
Westbrook, my
as
favorite
time
player,
goes on.
man.
And Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden continue to make history and further their legacies. It was October 2012, and one of the dumbest moves in NBA history. The Oklahoma City Thunder traded the 6th man of the year, James Harden, to the Houston.
Bro, we need the Thunder back in the playoffs, bro. The Thunder, I don't know. It just feel like the West ain't the same without the Thunder in the playoffs, bro.
Rockets after failing to reach a contract extension.
It don't feel the
Harden.
same.
Harden was seeking a 4-year, $60 million contract
The
from
crowd
OKC,
was just crazy.
but OKC was only willing to offer a $55.5 million deal. That's right. The Thunder decided not to commit to James Harden and instead trade him because they didn't want to pay him a little over an extra $1 million a year. They decided to break up a team that had taken a trip to the NBA Finals with their 3 main stars, who were 22 years old, 22 years old, and 21 years old. Now, Harden, Durant, and Westbrook are all in the prime of
This
their
is like
careers
if the
and are each
Celtics
putting up
broke up
historic numbers.
Jalen Brown
You
and
could make
Tatum
a
after
worthy argument that the top 3
after
players in
2018,
today's
during
game,
2018,
not
after
named
2018
LeBron James,
playoffs,
were all at one
going to the
point on
conference finals,
the
taking
same
LeBron to
team.
7 games. Like
I
this is
honestly
equivalent to
think
that.
it's safe to say
If they
that
did
if
that.
OKC management hadn't shot themselves in the foot and traded Harden, we would likely be witnessing an OKC dynasty this very day.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Well, they would have been broke
What if
up after
Carmelo
that.
Anthony was drafted by the Pistons? The 2003 NBA draft was one of the greatest drafts in the league's history. The first 5 picks were LeBron James, Darko Milicic, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. Talk about the case of one of these things is not like the others.
He childish.
LeBron was a shoe-in number 1 pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers heading into this draft. Carmelo Anthony was seen by many analysts and experts as the 2nd best player in the draft.
He definitely
But the
was.
2nd pick belonged to the already contending Detroit Pistons, who had several wing players already and had more of a need
They
for
should
a
have got
big
him.
man.
They should have picked him up.
You know
man.
the rest. The Detroit Pistons selected the Serbian bust Darko Milicic, and the following 3 picks were future NBA Hall of Famers. The part that makes this whole thing really interesting is that despite the fact that the Pistons passed on Carmelo and selected Darko Milicic, the bust, they still went on to win the NBA championship that season.
Because of
Now
the Rasheed
imagine
Wallace
if
trade,
they had
bro.
selected Carmelo. Not only is Carmelo one of the best scorers this league has ever seen, but now he is an NBA champion. How would the legacy and perception of Carmelo change if you add a ring or a few to his resume? How dominant
They
would
could have got
the
like at least
Pistons
2
have been
rings.
if you had lined him up with Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, and Richard Hamilton?
They could have got 2 rings because in 04, of course, they won against the Lakers. And then 05 to play the Spurs. And that went to, 7 games? So imagine adding a scorer like Melo to that. They could have went back-to-back low-key. And then 06? 06 is debatable. They could have gave the Heat a run for their money.
Number 5. What if Michael Jordan was drafted by the Blazers? Coming in at the number 5 spot is the biggest draft mistake
And maybe
of
beat the
all
Mavericks.
time. At the 1984 draft, the Houston Rockets started the draft by selecting Hakeem Olajuwon. No, that was not the mistake. Even though Houston passed on selecting Jordan, it's hard to criticize a team when they selected one of the greatest centers of all time.
Yeah, you can't
and
criticize
won 2
Houston. And
championships
they got
with the guy.
championships, yeah.
No, the mistake was the very next pick, when the Blazers
Sam
selected
Bowie.
Kentucky big man Sam Bowie at number 2. Michael Jordan was the next pick, selected 3rd by the Chicago Bulls. The Trailblazers passed on Jordan since they were already covered at shooting guard with their star
Glide to
Clyde Drexler.
glide.
Bowie's career was ruined by injuries to his legs and feet and ended up being one of the biggest busts the game has ever seen. Michael Jordan simply went on to be the consensus greatest player ever. This was yet another prime example of why you should draft the best player
Clyde and
available
Jordan would have been crazy.
and not based on your team needs. There really isn't too much else that needs to be said about this what if. If Jordan had been drafted by the Blazers, the duo of Drexler and Jordan in the Western Conference would have likely ruined title runs for the Los Angeles Lakers and would have completely changed basketball history as we know it. Number 4. What if Michael Jordan never retired to play baseball?
Okay.
In the 1993 season, Jordan was on top of the basketball world, having just won his 3rd straight NBA championship. And at 30 years old, in the prime of his career, Michael Jordan shocked the world by announcing his retirement from the NBA. Michael then went on to play his first love, baseball, having a lackluster career in the minor leagues before eventually returning to the Chicago Bulls with only 17 games left in the 1995 regular season. Many believed Jordan appeared to be rusty when the Bulls were later eliminated in the second round of the playoffs by Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway of the Orlando
You can say that.
Later in June of 1995, the Houston
And then they lost Horace
defeated
Grant,
the
too.
Magic to win their second straight NBA championship. But what if Michael never left the Bulls in 93? In 1994, the year Jordan missed completely, the Bulls were able to push the Knicks to a Game 7 in the second round without Jordan. It's not far-fetched to think the Bulls would have likely been good enough to win that championship in 1994 had Jordan still been with them. And what about 1995? With Jordan in tip-top basketball shape and no signs of rust, maybe that Orlando series might have gone differently and the Bulls go on to win that championship as well. It's possible that if Jordan never left the game, the Bulls might have gone on to win an incredible 8 straight championships. We'll never know for sure. Instead, Hakeem Olajuwon of the Houston Rockets has the 2 championships he so greatly deserves in the center of the Jordan era. Number 3. What if Derrick Rose never got injured? Coming in at the 3rd spot of this list is one of the most tragic injury stories in NBA history. In the 2011
Derrick
NBA
Rose
season,
so cold, bro.
Derrick Rose was at the center of the basketball spotlight, winning the NBA Most Valuable Player award and being the youngest player to ever do it at just 22
Okay, sorry, I was on my phone. I was texting the Jordan retire thing. They could have got 7. I don't think they get the 8 in a row is crazy. They could have got 7 though. He could have got 7. Yeah.
years old. He averaged 25 points per game, 7.7 assists per game, and 4.1 rebounds per game, and the Chicago Bulls won 62 games, finishing with the best.
The funny thing, I was so much of a Westbrook fan.
The future looked bright
Even though
Derrick,
I didn't know
who
Derrick
looks
Rose
as
was
if
cold
he
as
was
fuck.
destined
I was
to
like,
be one
man,
of the
Westbrook can
all-time
do the
greats
same shit.
and a rival to LeBron James in the Eastern Conference for years to come. For those
I was
of you
one of
who
them
weren't
niggas.
closely watching at that time, Derrick
Which
Rose had
I still
Westbrook
kinda
type
stand on it, but yeah.
explosiveness combined with
But
John
Derrick Rose,
Wall's
he was a
speed,
different monster,
and
though.
man, could he finish at the rim. It was just 1 year later, in Game 1
That
of
nigga,
the
he's
first
more
round of the
finesse
NBA
than Westbrook.
playoffs, Derrick attacked the basket,
Whew.
made a hop step move that we had seen him make
I think I
so
watched
many
this
times
game.
in
That
his
shit was
young
crazy.
career, and he tore his ACL. His career was changed forever.
What, this
Although
2012?
Derrick would eventually return to the floor and is still playing in NBA basketball today, injuries have continued to plague
Speaking of
him,
Derrick Rose, get that
and
nigga
he
off
has
the
never
Knicks.
since
Hey,
been able to replicate it.
Speaking of Derrick Rose, stop playing for Tom Thibodeau, bro. Stop it. I get it, bro. You think you owe him your career, maybe. I don't know. He's one of your best coach. You got a great relationship with him. Stop following that nigga around, Derrick Rose. That nigga is not playing you right now on the Knicks. Please go somewhere that you will play and compete for a championship, nigga.
His MVP
You was wasting
form
your
that we saw
little
in his early
cartilage in your
years of
knee.
his career. Number 2. What if Shaq and Kobe stayed together? This one probably comes as no surprise to any of you. Shaq and Kobe, one of the most dominant duos the league has ever seen. Also, 2 of the biggest alpha males the league has ever seen. Back when Shaq and Kobe split ways, a popular argument was who was to blame for their split, Shaq or Kobe.
I don't think this
But now in
wouldn't be as
hindsight,
crazy
I
as y'all think
pretty
it's gonna
clear
be.
to see that in reality, it was
They
both.
probably would have got one more though.
Both players had an incredible ego that was through the roof.
Like at least
Is it Shaq's team? Is it Kobe's team? These narratives mattered greatly to
They
the
could have
two.
probably won the 05,
Even the
06, one of
stars'
them years.
personalities were extremely different. Kobe was this
Maybe
serious,
07.
hard-working,
07 is
closed-off
pushing it.
lone wolf. Shaq, on the other hand, was a fun, playful leader who famously showed up to
You think about it, look, the reason why the Miami is so successful because Shaq still has something to prove. So him being on Miami, like, oh yeah, I got to win a ring before Kobe. Now you put that Shaq on the Lakers, the same Shaq on the Lakers that didn't have nothing to prove because he knows he see Kobe, like, oh yeah, Kobe gonna carry this. I'm gonna ride his coattail. Shaq he'll probably decline faster than he did in his actual NBA career, and he did in real life. So he probably would have, instead of retiring in what 2010, 2008, you know.
training camp overweight in 2004, which also famously infuriated Kobe Bryant.
So I said,
all
pay you
came
one more.
crashing down at the end of the 2004 season. The Lakers were considered overwhelming favorites over the Detroit Pistons in the NBA Finals, but the Lakers were upset 4-1. With Kobe's free agency underway that offseason, Lakers management had a decision to make: keep Kobe or Shaq. They committed to the younger star and signed Kobe to a massive contract while trading Shaquille O'Neal to the Miami Heat. Both players continued to be elite years afterwards. Shaq won a championship with Dwayne Wade in Miami, and Kobe won 2 more in Los Angeles. But what could the two have done if they had put their differences aside and stayed together? How many more championships would they have won? After all, Kobe's prime years of his career were with Kwame Brown on his team. How different would that have been if that was Shaq?
True.
And number 1.
Len Bias.
What if Len Bias lived? To me, this story is
Number
definitely
1?
the greatest what if in NBA
Really?
history. Partially because of the mystery of
I
it,
know he was cold,
also
but
because
damn.
of the level of impact it could have had on the NBA as we know it. Len Bias was a
I guess.
6'9" forward from the University of Maryland
R.I.P.,
who had
R.I.P.
incredible athletic abilities along with a smooth jump shot. Len Bias was a college star. He had epic battles with Michael Jordan while he was in North Carolina and was seen as a player of Michael Jordan's caliber. Meanwhile, in the NBA,
It's the only
Magic
pre-draft
Johnson's
workout
Lakers
that
and
Larry Bird ever
Celtics
revisited.
were the premier teams in the league.
And he never did
The
it. He
Celtics
never
went on to
visited
win
one
the
ever again. So that
1986
shit
NBA
crazy.
championships with their stars Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish. That 86 Celtics team is still considered one of the greatest teams in NBA history. Fast forward to the NBA draft, and thanks to a trade a couple years earlier with the Seattle Supersonics, the Boston Celtics owned the 2nd overall pick in the draft the same year they won the NBA championship. Cleveland had the first
That
pick
shit was crazy.
and needed a big man,
Brad
so
Daugherty.
they selected future All-Star center Brad Daugherty. With their 2nd pick, the Boston Celtics selected their exciting forward of the future, Len Bias. Len, the man who many were saying was going to rival Michael Jordan for years to come, was now joining Larry Bird and the already all-time great Boston Celtics.
Damn, why he had to celebrate like that, bro?
But then, less than 48 hours later, while he was in his college dorm room celebrating with his friends, Len Bias had a seizure and collapsed. Soon after medical attention arrived, Bias was pronounced dead at 22 years old. It was simply a cocaine overdose, making Len Bias the poster child of the NBA's terrible cocaine issues in the
Wasn't it like his
1980s.
first time ever doing it too?
This
or some
tragedy
shit?
left the school, his family, and the Celtics organization devastated, and the rest was history.
Damn, that nigga really made that
So what if?
crazy ass decision.
What if the man who was compared to Michael Jordan would have lived and joined an already stacked Celtics team? Do Magic Johnson and the Lakers win their championships in 87 and 88? Do the Pistons win their championships in 89 and 90? When Bias reached the prime of his career, is he battling Jordan in the 90s and preventing MJ from winning his famous 6 titles? Would Michael Jordan be considered the greatest of all time if he had less titles? How would that have influenced Kobe, LeBron, and other greats who grew up idolizing Jordan? As you're watching this video, would you be wearing biases right now instead of Jordan?
Alright,
This
alright,
what if could have
alright.
changed everything.
R.I.P. But damn,
Thanks
nigga.
for watching my video, guys. Let me know in the comment section.
Nah,
what
you
think
ruined
is
the end
big-
of the video now. Niggas ain't wearing no biases, nigga. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Nah, but R.I.P. to Limb Bias, man. That little mistake he made that ruined his whole life, man. Anyway, these some cool ass what is, man. I think there's some new ones now, man. I know this video kind of 5 years old, so if there's a new one, a newer one, new updated one, let me know. Let me know. I'll watch that. But anyway, if you like my reaction, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.